Buckle up.
On an elevator, buddy. Tristan loves being a little celebrity.
Mike Tyson. Going deep in Xinjiang. Hey, we just had like a super good dinner. And so far we're 0 for 2. I'm just touching the camel bra. I believe it, you should believe it too. I need to know how tall this is. Stacy, ice cold, as we begin, what is it, ostensibly 48 hours here in Turpan, sort of our bridge between Xinjiang and Tibet. It's a cold morning. It's a cold morning. We got in this morning on the train at a station that was way farther out of town than we thought.
So far.
But we got in, got checked into our hotel, doing a little bit of maintenance, and then essentially as of about now, we have 48 hours here in town. So we're gonna get up to so much, guys. It's gonna get so exciting. Buckle up. Yeah, Stacey's freezing. I just noticed that the view is really nice. From this like little balcony out here on the 9th floor of our coffee and James Joyce, the Irish author. The hotel's themed after him. 25 bucks a night. You should see this room. It's really nice. Comes with a Chinese copy of Ulysses.
On an elevator, buddy. It's like a little robot in the hotel.
It's a food delivery.
We're coming to the Turpan Museum. It might be similar to the Urumqi Museum, but it looks really nice.
This is always one way you can tell kind of that you're not at home, we'll say. It literally starts the museum with General Secretary Xi Jinping pointed out the civilization thrives with openness and prosper through. Imagine if you walked into the Royal Taiwan Museum and it was like, Justin Trudeau thinks that fossils are great.
Tristan loves being a little celebrity.
We've completed the Turpan Museum.
It was very nice.
It is a very nice little kind of local museum. A good variety of stuff. It wasn't just like, here's a million pots, here's a million old scrolls.
Yeah.
There was too many mummies for my taste.
I love them.
It like wigs me out. I don't like them. I saw like a couple, I'm like, okay, but now that I see them more here, I'm like, ugh, like grossed me out. And then the dinosaur section was just really nice. I mean, obviously, you just saw that. We just showed you the museum. And we got mobbed by kids. That's always fun. But like, they just like gather around and they don't ask questions. They don't do anything. They just want to like stare at you, and you're like, I'm like, hey guys, any questions? Like, just corrupted a bunch of them. They were like, what kind of phone is that? And I was like, it's a Google phone. And they're like, what's that? And I was like, it's Western Baidu. So now they all know of it. Anyways, nice museum.
Yeah, it was
and
small, but like very easy to go through. It was good.
yeah, and so now we're just gonna see what Turpan has to offer as we continue to explore in our 48 hours here in town. That's the security office for the museum. As we were going through, that guy was like, he just in the best English he had, was like, where are you from? And we're like, Canada. And he was on his phone watching the fight. He's like, Mike Tyson. Like, because Mike Tyson just lost. Some random security guard at Turpan, China was watching the fight and wanted to talk to us about it. Another day, another empty pond. That would have been lovely. We're gonna walk through this park and it normally has this big lake that goes through it. But right now it's nothing.
We are just doing a pre-dinner stroll along this canal. It's quite pretty.
No tourist again has ever been to. Guys, we're going deep in Xinjiang.
And we're trying these vitamin waters that our German friends recommended to us. They're pretty good.
They're decent.
Yeah. Anywho, it's very
It's a nice little walk, nice little pre-dinner walk.
At sunset. How lovely.
Ooh, under the neon glow and Turpan's shiny buildings. We end the day, we just had like a super good dinner.
Oh, it's so
It's like unreasonable. The food in China
so good.
is unreasonable. It's like why you should come to China is for the food. It's probably maybe my favorite place to eat in the world is in China. And I'm not just shilling it, guys. It's so freaking good. Anyways, that's the end of the day today. And tomorrow we're headed out to see the ancient cities here. A third city and a third attempted day trip here in Xinjiang. So far, we're 0 for 2. We haven't gotten a single freaking day trip done because the information in this province is so hard to come by. We're simplifying things today. We're going out to Jiaohe Ancient City.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Sure, yeah.
No, it was pronounced perfectly the first time. So we're going to this ancient city. And we're looking online. How do you catch a bus? How do you whatever? People say, oh, take bus 101 to this place and get a little tuk-tuk or whatever. Guys, the information is so hard to come across in this province. So instead, we're just gonna DD. But maybe it's like that hike that we did where we DD'd out into the wilderness and we had to walk back in. I hope not. We're gonna see if we can't DD out there and then get a bus back in. We don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a successful day trip done because we're gonna DD out there, but maybe we sleep, maybe we live out there. I don't know. Anyways, let's see. 0 for 2 so far. Let's see if we can do any better.
We made it. Very interesting entrance. The cab ride wasn't even that long. And we did see a bus that we had heard about on the way, so hopefully that's how we'll get back. But now we are going to explore this ancient city.
A little bit of a stroke of luck. We got in and the tickets are half price today. Okay, let's see what Jiaohe Ancient Village has for us. Our first sort of successful trip out to a thing here in Xinjiang. Where the heck are we? Oh, we are coming to an ancient village. It's called Jiaohe Ancient Village. We're inside of a building.
Recreation.
What is this? Yo, let's go. Oh, we got a little cooking fire. Where are we? This place is, it's fun, but I don't know if this is. And then everybody came over to the statue. Oh, that's why. Look, everybody's touching the camel butthole. Jesus, look at that. Why is that made that way? Look at the position this dude's in.
It's so fun. Yeah, the best.
Freezing.
We have made our way to the ancient city ruins. It's up on this raised piece of land, which is pretty cool, and it was surrounded by rivers. It's the largest and oldest earth and archaeology site that exists in the world.
Okay, I believe it. I believe it. You should believe it too.
We were just talking about how, like, the lack of precipitation and how hot it gets here to dry out the mummies that we've seen is probably why this place is so well preserved. So it's really neat to see. You actually see like the little rooms and temples and yeah, it's quite neat.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's really easy to explore because there's just like a nice path you follow. We're in a building now that we can actually like walk around inside. Very cool. It's really big. There's even stairs down to like a lower level. This kind of reminds me of the fortresses we went to from Khiva in Uzbekistan, but obviously this is like way bigger.
Walking around, there's a few descriptive signs, not too many, but it's the same thing we keep encountering in museums where it's like all it's doing is describing the dimensions of it. It's not like talking about the history of it. It's just like, it's this tall and it's got this many minarets that are this tall and it's, the walls are this tall and this thick. Maybe it's a cultural difference. if you know, let us know down in the comments. Do Chinese people just like only care about the dimensions and stuff? Like, don't give me the history. I need to know how tall this is. Like, why not tell us like what it is or like why it's cool instead of just like it's freaking dimensions. I'm really glad it worked out. That it wasn't too difficult to get out here, and that the price was randomly half price, and that it's off season because there's not too many people. There's the tourist group you can hear is like one of the only like 10 people in the park.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat and worth it. I mean, coming out here, DD out, tickets, DD back, it's gonna be like less than 20 bucks a person. Like, it's definitely worth coming out. I'm glad this little trip worked out. We're now one for 3 in Xinjiang.
Yay! Oh look, you find us walking along a long straight highway once again. We keep taking DDs too far out of town.
Yeah.
And so we can't order one from out here. So we're trying to make our way back into DD territory. We made it safely back into town, and it looks like there's a wedding in town. We saw one car with a drum and a horn going by.
No, we saw 2.
We saw 2, yeah,
ones.
yeah. And here's another one too.
It's be a wedding day. We just finished what may have been our last sort of like Uyghur meal in Central Asia, sort of here. It's very good. I highly recommend this place. We just had like a feast. It was so good, but what made me think to do a talking to it, the music that's playing is like the Uyghur guitar version of Despacito, which reminds me of when we were in Vietnam, biking through that little village, and there was some like old dude pumping Despacito.
It's a hit around the world.
Hit around the world. Maybe people love this song. So if you're in Turpan, kind of right downtown by the Turpan Grand Hotel, is a restaurant through this door. There's 2 restaurants up top on the 3rd floor. There's this like hot pot fun kids restaurant. This is the one. That's the one you want. It's not the cheapest place, but for like 30 bucks, you get like a feast and it's delicious. This really cool walking street, which I think in the summer is covered in grapevines. Our time in Xinjiang has reached its conclusion. We leave on our journey to Tibet tonight, and we thought we'd share some of our final thoughts as we've gone through the province and gone through museums and read and translated statements. Every single public statement by the Chinese government has enthusiastically and publicly celebrated and encouraged the sort of Uyghur culture and heritage here in the province. They're not shy about so many descriptions, but they talk about the rich history and richness of culture that it brings to China as a whole. Of course, human rights groups and other nations from the world have said that Uyghurs are subject to cultural destruction and human rights abuses here in the country. Of course, if we look at then what everybody is saying publicly, everybody then is interested in the preservation and celebration of Uyghurs and the Muslim culture here in China and the richness that it brings. And that's something that we too, of course, are champions of, celebrating the culture and making sure that it's around for, themselves, for them moving into the future, but for others also to experience and enjoy. We think as tourists that the best way that you and we can support the Uyghur culture is to visit the region. The more people that come here, the more people that want to come here, creates a larger cultural and monetary incentive to make sure that everybody's actions match their words. So if you want to come to Xinjiang and experience this, what we think is a remarkable region, you should come and you should do your part too in preserving it. And to us, that looks like when we've been here, we're making sure to use the Uyghur language, right? When we're talking to people, we're saying our pleases and our thank yous and our hellos in Uyghur. China, of course, does like maybe the best, most delicious pork in the entire world. But if you're gonna come here, that's not what you should be looking for, right? You should be here searching out Uyghur food. It is delicious. And everybody wants to do our part to keep what's here and leave it so that you can enjoy it and the next person can enjoy it. And most importantly, so that the people here enjoy it and can continue to enjoy it. That's sort of our final thoughts while we spent the last couple weeks traveling through Xinjiang. We really enjoyed our time here, but it's done, and we're off to the next interesting region.